What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch and review for you. So today we are talking about the newest collection from ILNP. I've got their Illusions collection for you. Now if you haven't heard of ILNP before, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based in the US, and all their polishes are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They're vegan, meaning they do not use any animal derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. And they just released this Illusions collection. We've got 6 brand new polishes and they're all magnetic. But what's really exciting about these is that they're in really intense, contrasty, multi-chromatic colors. So you'll see in the swatches, but I will admit I don't even think my swatches did these justice because they're so multi-dimensional. I am going to show them in the cat eye style as well as in the velvet style, and I am going to be using a horseshoe magnet, which instead of hovering the magnet around my nail for the velvet style, I'm going to be placing my nail inside the magnet so that it automatically does the velvet style. You'll see it in the swatches, but I can do a separate video on the horseshoe magnet if you're interested. And if you're not familiar with magnetics in general, I do have a whole video about them here. But yeah, let me show you the swatches, and then we can talk a little bit more about my thoughts on the collection, and then we can get into pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the ILNP base coat. So we'll start off with this shade Alice, and this one is one of the more simple color transitions. So we've got this blue base, and then within it we have a nice mixture of yellowish gold magnetic shimmer as well as a little bit of a silvery shimmer running throughout. So you can see when I apply it in full coverage on its own, it kind of just looks like a mix of those 3 colors together. You can just see little specks of the blue and yellow popping out, but once I magnetize it, you can really start to see where all of those colors kind of fit in. So what I'm going to do for all these swatches is 2 coats for full opacity, and then I'm applying a 3rd coat. While that's still wet, I'm going to hold the magnet over it, and then I'm going to pull it away to reveal the cat eye style. So you can see we got all of that blue in the base, and you can almost see a little bit of like a purpley shine in there as well. And then all of the yellow is the magnetic pigment, which pulls to the front. So that's super fun. But I think what's most exciting about this collection is seeing them in the velvet style, just because there's so much going on with the color shift. So I'm holding my finger one at a time in the horseshoe magnet, and you want to apply your polish in there and then give it some time to dry, like 30 seconds, and then you can see as I'm moving my nail around, it really created such a cool 3D effect. Next up we have the shade Hypnosis, and this is definitely going to be one of the more difficult ones to describe because I feel like there are just so many colors in here. Like depending on how I move my nail around, I can basically see every color, and I thought it was so cool. Even just unmagnetized, seeing what was going on in there, it almost felt like it was this base of green to purple, but then you could see these little flecks of copper and orange and yellow in there, which I thought was just so fun on its own, even without magnetization. But I had a feeling that it was gonna look super cool once I magnetized it. And the way I always swatch these polishes is I don't check what they look like magnetized until I'm actively using the magnet during my swatches, so it's always a little fun surprise for me. But yeah, this one ended up giving me this gorgeous coppery red background, and then we had this duochrome magnetic shimmer from turquoise to purple, and there were just little sparks of other colors in there that looked absolutely stunning. I thought this one was so fun and multi-dimensional, but I really wanted to see this one in the velvet style as well. And honestly, I don't think that my swatches did the velvet style of these justice because you almost need to see it in person. But just as I move my nail around, the way that this color shifts is so crazy to me. I just can't even believe that this is one polish. I think that's so fun. Just like that shift from the purple into the yellow, into the copper, into the turquoise. It's just so fun. And then we have the shade Flipside, and this one's actually fairly similar to Hypnosis in terms of just being able to see all of the colors in there, but I would say that the main colors are a little bit different. Before magnetization though, I did notice that they did kind of look similar on the nail, so we almost have that turquoisey green into purple shift, and then you can see little flecks of color, but instead of being that orangey copper vibe, this one was definitely more of a pinky fuchsia kind of coloring. So I was really excited to see what this one looked like because Hypnosis definitely stole my heart as soon as I applied it. So I applied my third coat, and then while that was wet, I used my magnet over it to start off with the cat eye style, and I was left with this really cosmic sort of vibe. We had this duochrome pink base color, so sometimes it looks a little bit more fuchsia, sometimes it looks like more of a red toned pink, and then we have this duochrome turquoise to blue magnetic shimmer running throughout. So there's just something about this color combo that feels very spacey to me, so I thought that was really fun. But again, just really excited to see this one with the velvet style because I think that's where it really thrives. And again, I'm pretty new to filming the velvet style with this type of magnet, so I'm sorry if it looks a little weird as I'm doing it. I feel like having that light magnet makes my nail look kind of weird, but hopefully you can see in the final result just how shifty and fun this polish is. And again, just however I move my nail around, it really transforms and looks so different. It's just such an unreal polish to wear. And then we have the shade Warped, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sure what to expect from this one because when I applied it just on its own, I felt like there was just so much going on in there that I really couldn't tell what colors were gonna be pulled out, and it did actually look a little bit sheer on application, but I ended up still getting really nice coverage in 3 coats on my nail length for both the cat eye style and the velvet style. But yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I could see some purple, some pink, some green flecks in there, but I feel like the colors that look the most muddled before they're magnetized are always the ones that have the coolest contrast once you do magnetize them. So once I did it with the cat eye magnet, I was able to see this really cool contrasty base that kind of looks like a brownish color with green flecks in it, and then on top of that we had this fuchsia to orangey copper shimmer. So I thought that was really interesting, but what really wowed me about this one was seeing it in the velvet style because for some reason this just transformed into a gorgeous cool toned purple and green fleck velvet manicure, and I don't know, it was just giving me like Disney villain vibes in the best way. I just love the combo of purple and green, especially when it's like a really cool toned purple and a really vibrant green, and I just think that this captured that so perfectly. Then we have the shade Unraveled, and this is another more simple color, but again, it kind of looked a little bit muddled before I magnetized it just because the 2 colors that were going on in there are actually really strong contrast with each other. So we have this golden yellow color, and then we also have a duochrome purple shade. So I was really curious to see how this one played out as well. I figured it was going to be a purple base with a golden yellow shimmer running throughout, just based on the fact that a lot of magnetic polishes have that golden yellow kind of magnetic shimmer in there, but it ended up really surprising me because this time we had a yellow base, and then the magnetic shimmer in there was that duochrome fuchsia color into that coppery red kind of shade. So it felt really unexpected in the best way. I don't think I've seen a magnetic that was this color, especially with this as the base. So I thought that was really fun. Once again, I had to try it in the velvet style, and I was really curious to see how it would turn out that way and what color I would really see most often on my nails, because again, I figured it would kind of be that purpley color, but I feel like primarily my nails were looking very yellow gold, and then when I moved my nail around and you could see that 3-dimensional pigment, that's where I was getting like the purple and the pink and fuchsia kind of vibes. So I thought that was really interesting, and I love that strong contrast. And then the final shade in this collection is Misfit, and I would say this is probably the most simple in terms of color and color transformation because we have just kind of a simple mix of pink into red into orange, and it just magnetizes to be a little bit more of a monochromatic vibe. But I will say, even though it is on the simple side, I think this is still a really pretty color. I feel like sometimes it's hard for people to transition from more neutral polishes or just the more standard mainstream kind of colors like pink and red and orange into these funkier finishes like magnetics, and I think that this type of polish is really perfect for that because you get a taste of these specialty finishes without having to get into like the crazy purples and greens and blues if you're not comfortable wearing those colors. So for that, I really appreciate this one. I thought it was really pretty. I especially liked it in the velvet style, as I seem to have enjoyed all of these most in the velvet style, because you could really see a little bit of purple, a little bit of pink, and then that gorgeous coppery reddish orange base color. So I did end up liking this one a lot, even though it is on the more simple side. So here's all the polishes together, and I'm showing you what they look like in the cat eye style for the comparison, just just so you can see all the colors going on in there, and because I feel like you can't accurately see what the velvet style looks like from a non-moving picture because it really just depends on how you angle your hand. So here's what they look like in that cat eye style, and I feel like we do have a nice mix of colors here. The top 3 shades are definitely more on the pinky orangey kind of side. The bottom shades, we've got the yellow, the green, the blue, but overall I do think these are really fun. I like how contrasty the colors are. So with the exception of Misfit, I think that they're all really unique color combinations that you almost wouldn't expect to see together in one polish. So I think that's really cool, and I think that's why I like it in the velvet style so much, because depending on how you see your nail, it's gonna look like it's a totally different color. So I think that's really cool. I was really impressed with the formulas here. They ended up applying it really smoothly, very easy to work with, and they were very reactive to the magnet, especially that horseshoe magnet. So it was fun to play around with them, and I'm definitely gonna be wearing these a lot because I'm loving my magnetics lately. I just can't stop wearing them. So yeah, let's talk about these a little bit more. So yeah, those are the polishes, and like I said, I do not think I did these justice. I think they look even cooler in person. I feel like every once in a while ILNP comes out with these collections that truly cannot be captured on camera. Like, you have to see them in real life in order to fully appreciate them because they're just so dimensional and colorful. I don't remember the name of it, but they did a space themed collection, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, that I just feel like it looks so much better in person than it did in my swatches, and I feel the same about these. I will say I do prefer the horseshoe style magnet for velvet manicures. I think that it does look a little bit better and more consistent on the nail, but in terms of swatching, I do think it's a little bit harder to use, so I might switch back to using just a regular magnet for that, but let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. But yeah, regarding these polishes, I've also heard a lot of people curious about comparing them to Clionadh Cosmetics, which I have done a review on. I'm gonna look through them and see which ones are similar, and I'll do a little comparison if anybody's interested, so let me know. But yeah, now let's get into pricing and availability. All these polishes are available on the ILNP website. They do come with what I like to call a medium wide flat brush that has a straight tip, and they retail for $12.50 USD each. ILNP also sells the horseshoe magnet if you're interested. That retails for $22.50 USD, so I'm gonna link that down below. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Have you picked any up already, or are you planning to? And which style do you prefer, the cat eye or the velvet style? Leave it all in the comments, we can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's would you rather question is, would you rather have unlimited sushi or unlimited tacos? This is a very easy answer for me because sushi is my favorite food. So I will very easily say I would rather have unlimited sushi. All you can eat sushi is one of my favorite kind of places to go to. My eyes are definitely bigger than my stomach, but I can eat a lot more sushi than you think I can. I'm not gonna lie, I am actually a huge fan of tacos, and I don't need them to be authentic. I love Taco Bell, I love authentic tacos, I love everything in between, but I just feel like with sushi, I can pack away so much. So unlimited has more value for sushi for me. I would love to hear your thoughts. Which would you prefer, unlimited sushi or unlimited tacos? Leave it in the comments, we'll chat about it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!